In this video, we're going to discuss how to create functions. And of course, in Python, there is a keyword called def, which stands for defining a function. This is the heading, def. It will be in an amber or orange color. Blank space followed by the function name. It will display in blue. That's the function that is created by the user, the programmer rather, followed by open close parentheses, a colon. All statements that are to be executed within this function are going to be indented. Everything in this function is exclusively within the contents or the scope of that particular function. Each function represents a different program. So the purpose of a function is to divide a big program into smaller, more manageable pieces. We're creating a function called create GPA array, and what we want the program to pass to the other programs is count, the number of items, and GPA. And we're going to check to make sure that the user entered the correct data type for the number of items and the correct data type for the GPA. Notice that within this function, everything is indented, at least up to the fourth column. And if there's another loop, all the statements that are to be executed must be indented there. The while true, indented. And if there's an if statement, the indentation takes place. All of this is significant. These indentions are significant. Count equals count plus 1 is going to be aligned with the while true statement. It has to be indented within the while. This is the overall while loop, and this is the ending statement. So it's going to be indented one more position. And we end the while loop, we end the function. And we start all over when we wish to display the unsorted list. We're creating a function to do that. What we want to pass back to the program as a parameter is count, number of items, GPA. And notice the indentions. It's every fourth position. Whatever is going to be indented within, whatever is going to be executed in this function must be indented. But within that indent, if you have a while loop, everything needs to be indented within that while loop. The return should only be indented at column 4 because that's what the program is going to return. And notice when we're searching, defining a function, this is the function name. These are the parameters that are important. They were either going to be returned or they were shared from a previous function or passed to the function from the main program, which is here at the bottom. Number of items is in the main program and it's passed to the functions because that information is needed. Num items is going to be used here. The main emphasis when you're defining a function is that all statements that are to be executed must be indented at least to column 4. So look very carefully at every statement and where the statements are located. This is at column 4, and then the try is at 8, and then this is at 12. So you have 4, 8, 12. This is going to be 12 and 4 is 16. Remember, the count cannot be inside the if because it's a part of the while loop itself. Pay very close attention to all of these details. And then in the main program, the functions are called. Please spend a lot of time going through every statement and making sure that you understand the purpose of each statement. Sometimes the statements are so long, and let me just move over here so you can see a little bit more here. And make sure that these statements end with a semicolon. Let me just make sure this one is ending with a semicolon. Most either they will end with a semicolon if they are functions or any control constructions, they will end with a colon. Notice that every function ends with a colon and not a semicolon. However, when you call the functions, they do end. We're calling this function for the instructions. It ends with a semicolon. Called functions end with a semicolon. When they are defined, they must end with a colon. Do not forget to add comments. A similar program is attached to the Dropbox for this assignment. So make sure you pull that up, you understand it, and because you're going to have to go in and adjust it for another scenario. Okay, so don't forget to change the comments to explain what's going on. And you want to make sure that you follow all of those steps and that you understand every step. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions.